Real quick, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on Canelo saying Al Haymon is the best promoter?
Is that?
I said, what's your thoughts on Al Haymon? Canelo saying Al Haymon is the best promoter.
Whoever he's working with at the time, he says he's the best promoter in the world.
Eddie.
Look, I did this before I knew Al Haymon, but Al Haymon is very smart, and I always try to learn from the people, for smart people, no, and who cares about the fighter, because somebody just care about the business, and they just the promoter want to talk everything and this and want to be the attraction, and you see Al Haymon is behind. You just take care about the fighters, take care about every fighter, put in the interviews or fights. They make fights to still make money. So he take care about the fighters too. Not just be in the reflectors and everything. It's very different. I take the 80% of everything.
Canelo's trainer Eddie Reynoso said that the offer you gave Canelo was disrespectful. That's why he chose PBC. Eddie Reynoso.
Did he?
Yeah.
Not sure he did, but please send it to me if he did.
Okay, absolutely.
As you guys heard, this is Canelo Alvarez's second interview, where he came out stating that he likes Al Haymon as a promoter because he doesn't take the shine away from the fighter. He lets the fighter have all of the shine, unlike other promoters. That's the way it should be. That's what Canelo Alvarez said. Now, when Canelo said that, I couldn't help myself but to think, who could he be talking about? Obviously, the question was about the promoters Canelo Alvarez worked with, and what's the difference with Al Haymon compared to them. There's no secret. We all know the last promoter Canelo Alvarez worked with is Eddie Hearn. So when Canelo said he likes Al Haymon because, unlike other promoters, aka Eddie Hearn, they tried to steal the shine away from the fighter instead of allowing the fighter to pretty much get all of the shine. Basically, the only person Canelo could be talking about here is Eddie Hearn. What other promoter you guys know likes to take all of the shine, likes to do all these interviews, like to do all this promoting? Eddie Hearn is the only one, especially as of late, that Canelo Alvarez worked with. Which is crazy because Eddie Hearn be kissing Canelo Alvarez's ass, respectfully. Without a doubt, Eddie Hearn clearly likes Canelo due to the fact that the public likes Canelo. He has the complexion for the connection. So Eddie, he will never cross Canelo like he crosses the fighters on the coincidental list, aka Crawford and Devin Haney, who have the complexion for the neglection. You never see Eddie Hearn talk bad about Canelo publicly. I don't care what Canelo does. Ever since Eddie Hearn worked with Canelo, he will defend Canelo, right or wrong, left and right, even if he doesn't have to. Like I said before, Canelo has the complexion for the neglection to get the ultimate protection. But the crazy part is, where is this energy coming from on Canelo's behalf? Is Eddie Hearn doing bad business behind closed doors? Is that the reason why Canelo is fighting two DAZN fighters back-to-back, Munguia and Edgar Berlanga, on PBC instead of DAZN? This raises a lot of questions. First of all, as far as Canelo talking about how the promoters be trying to steal all of the shine from the fighter instead of allowing the fighters to have all of the shine, I completely disagree with that. If I'ma pay you a percentage from my purse to promote me, then you better be out here doing the promotion more than I am, more than the fighters are. If not, then I'm keeping all of the money. So it's a conflict of interest to give the promoters money for promotion without them promoting, without them doing their job. Yeah, they can get a little shine on the mic, but they only gonna hype up the fight for the fighter to get the shine in the ring. So I don't see that being a problem. There's something Eddie Hearn is not telling us. What Eddie says publicly, he does not say to Canelo behind closed doors the way he does with Crawford and Devin Haney. I'm telling you right now, because Eddie Reynoso, Canelo trainer, he was on a Mexican channel where he stated that the reason why Canelo is not back working with Eddie Hearn to fight on DAZN is because Eddie Hearn sent him a disrespectful offer for both the Munguia and the Edgar Berlanga fight. You can take that however you want to take it, but I'm going to take that exactly how it sounds. I'm going to take it as it is. What does that mean, a disrespectful offer? Meanwhile, when Eddie Hearn does interviews, he claims that whatever money PBC is offering Canelo is a lowball offer, or I should say, is a pay cut. However, PBC is offering Canelo more money than Eddie Hearn is. Or is it that Haymon is offering Canelo more transparency than Eddie Hearn is? Clearly, the math is not mathing. Like I said before, Eddie Hearn will defend Canelo Alvarez publicly, but he don't keep the same energy behind closed doors when he's negotiating with Canelo. Apparently, you will never hear Eddie Hearn say publicly, man, Canelo is out of his mind. He's asking for too much money that he's not worth, like he does with other fighters that don't have the complexion for the connection to get the ultimate protection the way Canelo Alvarez does. Eddie Hearn will never tell the truth on Canelo, even if Canelo is talking bad about him, even if Canelo is not his fighter. Eddie will still not say Canelo is outpricing himself. In fact, it's the contrary with Canelo. Eddie Hearn will come out publicly and say, listen, we will pay Canelo Alvarez more than his minimum for Makabu. Then behind closed doors, they will tell Canelo, nah, we're not giving you that Makabu fight unless it's for less than your minimum. DAZN is not interested in these type of cherry pick fights. They not interested in losing money. Perhaps Canelo doesn't like how Eddie Hearn will say something publicly in his defense, but doesn't keep the same energy behind closed doors. Remember, even Turkey came out revealing that Canelo reached out to him to explain to him the reason why he was mad at Turkey was because of Eddie Hearn. He didn't like how Eddie Hearn was talking to him. Turkey then came out responding to Canelo by saying, look, whatever problem you have with Eddie Hearn, that has nothing to do with me. Don't get me involved in that. Leave me out of that. That's none of my business. That's between you two. Now, when I heard that, I started thinking, what the heck did Eddie say to Canelo to the point where Canelo got mad at Turkey? The only things we hear Eddie Hearn say is basically kiss Canelo Alvarez's ass publicly. I don't care what Canelo does. If he turns down his biggest offer to fight whoever, Eddie will be defending like he is Canelo Alvarez's lawyer. And Eddie will be doing it for free. Canelo is not even his fighter. So when you hear Canelo say he don't like how Eddie Hearn was talking to him, it's eye-opening. It makes you wonder what the heck is going on behind closed doors that the public doesn't know, that Eddie is not letting the public know about, since Canelo has the complexion for the protection to get the ultimate protection, unlike Crawford and Devin Haney. Listen, as loyal as Eddie Hearn is to the code and Canelo Alvarez, I don't think we will ever find out. Canelo can take jabs at Eddie Hearn all he wants. However, Eddie Hearn will remain loyal to the core. With that being said, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below, and to be continued on the next episode of Akhi TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Are you going to pick up Canelo versus Makabu?
Yeah, to see if that fight happens. You know, we'll put forward some options to Canelo Alvarez, as will everybody else. And I guess he'll choose whichever one he prefers.
Now, Canelo is receiving a lot of backlash for his selection of opponents. So is DAZN willing to pay Canelo $33 million for this fight?
Cool, I think you might have to pay a lot more than that. You know, look, he's done a great job. Obviously, he's a free agent, and that's worked really well for him. We had a brilliant time working with him. We're very close with him. We have a massive amount of respect for him, and hopefully we can work with him on his next fight.
Terence Crawford's performance, and do you want to get a fight with him?
If the money is right, I mean,
$100 million. I heard Turkey offered you a big money already.
150.
The Canelo's situation is strange. I explain it a lot, and maybe this is the last time I explain. We are talking with him for a long time now, for around 4 months, to doing big fight with him, okay? What bothered me when he announced that he respect me, but he doesn't like what Gia and Real Season doing to boxing. And after that, I respond with what I respond. And he sending indirect message to me by someone and said, no, I am respecting you, but there was situation between me and Eddie when we talk, and I don't like the way of Eddie talking to me. Then I said, it is not my responsibility if something happened between you and someone else. Why get me inside this?
Yes.
You understand me?
Yeah.
We're looking with respect with all fighters, and we want to do the big event and the big fight. What's not happened before for a lot of reasons. And my door is open for all the fighters. And let's see, he sent to me a direct message. He want to connect after his fight.
After the fight, okay.
But, and even I don't know if it is this right message or real message or not. I don't know. I just tell you what happened and what I receive.
Yeah. Do you have hope of rekindling the relationship? You believe that you know, after his fight with Edgar Berlanga, that you can sit down and hopefully make something happen?
It is nothing personal. It is business.
Okay, business.
Yeah.
Would you still like to do the Terence Crawford fight with Canelo at 168 pounds?
Yeah. What I am dream?
Yeah.
I like to see it against Crawford. I like to see it against Benavides.
Yeah, see, this is... I have wanted to see the Benavides fight for a long, long time. Now, Canelo says that, obviously, we know that they're both Mexican. A loss for Canelo would obviously be damaging for his legacy, right? We're hearing the figure that he is giving is about 200 million. Obviously, that seems far too much. We understand the figures in boxing. Does he have to be realistic as well?
Of course. No one pay this kind of money.
No.
Yeah.
Do you have hope that we ever see that fight as boxing fans? That's the one we want the most.
There is nothing impossible.
Okay.
Let's see in the future what happens. But if someone can do it, it is Riyadh season.
Yes, absolutely.
If Canelo was doing so great, why did DAZN or Matchroom let him go in the first place?
Because we didn't have the opponents for him. The only fight we had for him was Dimitri Bivol, which we couldn't make because Bivol had a fight to do, and then he was fighting Beterbiev. So we couldn't get that fight made. Bivol wanted to do it at 168. Canelo wanted it at the same terms. So he had no choice but to join the PBC because they gave him a good path. But the path eroded. The path that was mapped out never actually materialised. And he doesn't want to fight a guy. He was disappointed with the Charlo fight because Charlo ran for 12 rounds. He didn't even try and win the fight. And his brother will do the same. His brother might not even turn up. So you can't, you need a reliable plan. And a reliable plan, even if you think that, oh, you know, Munguia, Berlanga, oh, what about Benavides? No problem. Like, when I've talked to Sal about Benavides, like, the fact that people think he won't fight him, he actually laughs. You know, this is a guy, he's fought everybody. He'll fight Benavidez and we'll do that deal to fight Benavidez. But he wants activity, he wants a plan. Benavidez ain't for happening in May. So
if you were able to get, if you're pulling out Benavidez, he's across the street. You could have been able to, when you had Canelo, why wasn't?
Because the PBC don't want to work with anyone, and now they're fucked. Yeah. So you get to a situation where if I reached out to Benavidez, what the PBC do is they go, "We're only making that fight on a PBC." Not, we'll give Benavidez the opportunity. And this is what people don't understand. They're not willing to let their guys go on another platform to take a chance to achieve greatness. It all has to happen with them only.
Why do you think that?
Because that's just how they operate. So what we do is we sign who we want to sign, the people who have the commercial value, not just guys because they've got a good name. Some of these guys, PBC have lost a lot of money on doing fights with those fighters. So you have to, the price has to be right, the business has to be right. But people like Benavidez, if we do manage to do a deal with Canelo Alvarez, we can do Munguia, we can do Berlanga, or if Benavidez wants to come and play, but it doesn't, we don't, when PBC do a deal, they only let you go and fight one of their fighters if you align yourself to PBC. What I wouldn't do to Benavidez is say, oh, you can fight Canelo Alvarez, but you've got to sign a 5-fight deal with Matchroom or DAZN. I just want to see a great fight. And Canelo Alvarez don't care about who's with who. He'll just say to me, this is what Canelo will say to me, Eddie, who am I fighting and how much?
Would you at least understand the disappointment from everybody if it is Berlanga next? He's a very good fighter, but he hasn't really fought anybody.
But you know, at the end of the day, who is the other options? The only option right now on the table is Canelo never got Benavidez offers for May and all this big money that everyone's talking about. They said to him, you can fight Jamel Charlo, and by the way, the money that we promised you, we're not even promising you that anymore. He don't even want to fight Charlo. So he's got to look at other options. He's got to look at young fighters that are ready. If Benavidez wants to come and talk to us and make that fight, we can talk to him and make that fight, no problem. But if he's leaving the PBC because they haven't delivered on what was planned, you can't expect him to just like hang around and wait on them. So Munguia, I think, is the fight for May. Listen, if Berlanga happens in September, great, maybe he gets another big win in the meantime. If Benavidez wants to fight in September, Sal will fight all of them. He just wants to be active.
Canelo's apparently leaving PBC, should be heading over to Matchroom. It's supposedly supposed to be like Berlanga and Munguia, as opposed to Benavidez and probably maybe a Jamal Charlo. In your opinion, a lot of people think that Canelo's taking the easier route. Do you think that Berlanga and Munguia...
Let me tell you something about Canelo Alvarez. The most fearless fighter I've ever met. Trust me when I say Canelo Alvarez will fight anybody, right? He will fight Benavidez, he will fight Charlo, he will fight Munguia, he will fight Berlanga. What he wants is, he wants people that come to fight. What he doesn't want people to do is to come to survive. He was really disappointed with the Charlo fight because Charlo never come to fight. He never came to try and win the fight. And the problem with a fight against the brother, commercially it doesn't work, he probably won't come and try and win the fight either. Munguia is a guy that will come with everything to win that fight. He will put it on Canelo Alvarez, he will stand and fight with him. So will Berlanga, so will Benavidez. So in my opinion, what he doesn't want to do is fight Charlo. He's not interested in fighting Crawford. Crawford's a 147 pounder that's going to move around and try and box in and out of, like, he wants to fight Munguia, Benavidez, Berlanga. He wants to fight young fighters that come to win. So from our position, there's nothing done with Matchroom with Canelo Alvarez. We talk all the time. It would be an honour to bring him back to Matchroom and DAZN. We're going to certainly try to do so. But at the moment, we're just talking. But for everybody that says, oh, he's trying to avoid, look at his resume. He's never avoided anybody. And when he fights Benavidez, which I'm sure he does, that is a huge fight. And we would be happy to talk to Benavidez and try and make that fight with Canelo Alvarez. But what he wants right now is he wants a planned schedule, because clearly he's been messed around. And he wants to get back to fighting and knowing he's fighting. Not doing one fight and then the goalposts move and then the opponents move. You know, let's get him back, finishing his career as strong as possible, as what he is, the greatest fighter of our generation.
Eddie, real quick, you brought up PBC's financial situation, but DAZN has been raising their subscription costs. They're going to Saudi Arabia to get more money. Why is it that PBC are the ones where you could go there in trouble financially. But no one says that about DAZN when you guys are...
Because they don't have a broadcaster that is paying them money to service their fighters.
Yeah, but DAZN is raising costs.
No, DAZN has the biggest budget in boxing, and continuously make sure.
So they haven't
that
raised their subscriptions at all?
Yeah, of course they have. Everybody's raised their subscriptions over the past couple of years. But your question is, why is PBC struggling and why are DAZN not? The answer is DAZN pay a lot of money to promoters for rights fees to service their fighters and keep them active. PBC do not have a broadcaster that pay rights fees for a consistent schedule.
Well, they have Amazon, right?
No, they have a broadcaster where they've got a couple of pay-per-views that they have to take a risk on with no guarantees. They have no plan, they have no schedule, they have no regular content outside of pay-per-views that, quite frankly, aren't even really pay-per-views. And you cannot run a business, you cannot build a schedule, you cannot maintain and service your fighters if you do not have a broadcaster that is paying rights fees for regular Saturday night fight nights.
Yeah, but outside of maybe the Saudi fights, what has what big fights have DAZN put on?
Are you joking?
Outside of the Saudi fights?
Are you joking?
No, I want to know.
I mean, Haney against Garcia.
I mean, this is now.
I mean,
talking about
Katie Taylor, Anthony Joshua, Ryan Garcia. You got
Ryan Garcia was with Tank last time. That's with a PBC fight.
No, that was on DAZN. Do your maths. Also, he just fought Duarte on DAZN, like a couple of months ago.
Those are pay-per-view fights?
No, they weren't.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. But
I think you work for the PBC.
No, I'm not. I'm just challenging you, bro. That's it. I just say I'm just here
every single week. I mean, every single week. We've got Taylor Cattrall. The week after this is a sold-out event in the UK. You've got Haney against Garcia. You just did Jaime Munguia against John Ryder. We did Bam against Sonny Edwards Unification. We're going to be doing Bam against Estrada, massive Mexican fight in the summer. You've got Virgil Ortiz. You've got Diego Pacheco. You've got Balang. I mean, like, it's every single week.
Hey, real quick, let me ask you a question. What have you learned about the American market since you ain't working here?
That's a good question. We'll do that one.